Buongiorno and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So today we are going to be playing with a few new products, some that are just newer to me that I picked up at the Sephora VAB, as well as the Huda Beauty retrograde palette, the Dawson palette. So we're just gonna kind of play with makeup. I do ramble in this video, kind of talk about my childhood and family, and hopefully you guys find that interesting. It's hard to like figure out during tutorials. Like, I like it when people, I feel like I know them, and I don't think I've talked too much about growing up. So hopefully you guys find this interesting and not super boring. If you want me to just focus on makeup, just let me know in the comments down below. Don't hurt my heart. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this video. Please don't forget to subscribe before we get started. I do try to upload here at least 3 to 4 times a week, and I would love to have you. And without further ado, let's play with some makeup. Okay, so we're gonna use a few different palettes today, so hopefully you guys will still like this. Obviously, if you don't have the palettes, just grab things that are similar. I'm going to start in with the Diet Root Beer shade, which is this brown right here from the Dawson and Jeffree Star collab. And we're just going to start blending it out. Why did I put highlight on my cheeks and then do this? I have no idea. I ended up buying a few things at the Sephora VAB that I wanted to use as well. Sephora VAB sale. They get me. But it's kind of like the time I get to buy things that I truly like want, not necessarily like buy to review, you know what I mean? So that's why I get excited for the sales, because it's stuff that I'm like maybe put off and kept putting off, and then I'm finally like, okay, now I can buy that and it's fine. It's not new, but it's things that will make my little heart happy. I'm still a like in-store shopper. Do you guys mostly shop online or do you shop in store? Like, I might not, like, I still might just order online, but I like to go in store and still like swatch. Like, I had a subscriber comment, 'cause like I get in trouble too. Like, I'll come home and my husband's like, where are you? And I was like, nowhere. And he's like, you have makeup all over you. And I'm just like, what? Because I swatch everything. Like, I am that person. I love to swatch a lot. And so now I have makeup wipes in my car for that same reason. I'm like, evidence gone. I might just add in a little bit of the shade next to it, which is Tanacon. Just because I don't want this to be too deep. I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty Mercury retrograde in a second, but I'm just that person. I need browns. Like, I very rarely do looks without brown shades. All right, so I'm going to dip into Haze, which is right here. And I'm going to pack that on the lid. So I told you guys, like, I had my aunt's funeral last weekend, and it's always like, I didn't grow up here. I grew up, I realize I haven't talked about that too much. I mean, I know some of you guys know I'm from Italy, but my mom is American. She was military, and that's how she met my dad. They literally, like, my mom didn't speak Italian, my dad didn't speak English. Like, how they ended up together, it's crazy. But so we would just come here to visit, like, when I was a kid. And I was talking the other day, and Nick was like, you don't really talk too much about, like, your family. And I was like, well, I didn't grow up here, so they don't, not that, like, we always just felt awkward around them. You know what I mean? Like, left out, like, just, and maybe that was just partly us. We were pretty shy kids, but, you know, we didn't grow up here, so we're not as close as a lot of them are. And then I was telling my sister, I was thinking about my aunt, and I was like, Nick's like, you never talk about her. And I was like, I don't think she likes me. And he's like, what do you mean? I love this shade. This is one of my favorite shades of the palette for sure, in the Mercury retrograde. And I was like, well, when I was little, we came and visited, and I kind of, I was like 5, okay? And I perhaps picked my nose and wiped a booger on her couch, and she saw. And I don't think she ever forgave me from that. I think from then on, she was like, nope, you're trouble. Like, there's a lot of embarrassing stories I have from my childhood. So let me know if you guys ever want a story time. But yeah, I remember her face. Like I said, I was 5 years old, but I remember that like clear as day. Like, she was pissed. Like, she yelled at me, she made me clean it up, and then I think she held a grudge. Just saying. All right, so we're going to kind of play with the toppers on this. So, which one do I want to go in with? I kind of want to go in with Mercury. So I'm just going to take it on my finger. Ooh, that's really dark, actually. I'm going to take the shade Cosmic, I think, and put that on the inner part. But I was thinking, I don't know where that story came from. I was just thinking about it today and it just made me laugh. Like I was just like, oh my gosh. Karma's gonna come back so hard when I have kids. I don't even know. All right, I like that. It's not really sticking out though as much as I wanted it to. So we're gonna use Nebula. Nebula is like this really pretty like periwinkle. Is that the right term? But yeah, I moved to the States when I was to Arizona. I think I was around 13, 14. And then I moved back and forth. My dad kept his business there and he stayed. And me and my mom came here because my mom retired from the military. And it was really, really expensive to try to go to school there still. So she couldn't really, like, my parents couldn't afford to, like, pay $6,000 for high school. So that's why we moved out here. And she always wanted us to move out here. There's just more opportunity. I'm going to take the shade Vortex, I think, and just deepen out that outer corner. So that's kind of, I might actually take Not a Fact from the Shane Dawson palette as well, which is this shade here. Let's try Not a Fact first. Yeah, that's pretty. That goes in. We'll dip in a little bit of Vortex too. So yeah, we moved back and forth like every 6 months. So I finally, like my parents moved out here when I was in college, but we used to go back all the time and I miss it so much. Like, I know I couldn't like really live there and have a good like lifestyle, especially like personal training there. Like nobody cares about personal training there. Like it's just not a thing, especially in southern Italy. But I am kind of sad. Like I get really nostalgic, especially like we will speak Italian when we want nobody to understand what we're singing. But other than that, we don't really use it that much. I kind of want to really dip into Mercury though, because that's really pretty too. I'm going to put Mercury on this outer corner. Pretty much every glitter shade, I'm just packing it on. I feel like a little galaxy on my lids. I do kind of feel like we covered up the blue shade that I was very excited to use. But we'll use it to smoke out the lower lash line. And then I'm going to pop in Ranch from the Jeffree Star palette into the inner corner. But yeah, the moving back and forth was not a fun part of my childhood. I think that's why I graduated high school at 16. I graduated as a junior. Just moving back and forth. I was a pretty talkative person, like when I was very young. Like I'd sit on strangers' laps and my parents would I wanted all the attention. And then I kind of got older. We're going to use the shade Momentum in here to just kind of smoke out that top portion. I've kind of gotten away from really highlighting my brow bone. I don't like it as much. I don't know what happened. I'm going to build up that outer corner a little bit more. But yeah, I used to be a really talkative person and then, just stuff happened. My cousin, who I was pretty close to, was a year older than me and he died in a motorcycle accident. You're allowed to have motorcycles there at 15 and yeah. And I don't know, it just hit me a lot harder than anything else and I kind of just became quiet. And then we started moving and I went to 3 different high schools. And by the last one, I was like, I'm done. Like, I was just so quiet. Like, literally, like, we went to an open house and the teacher thought I wasn't in his class because he was like, I don't recognize her. And yeah, that was me in high school. I will never go to, like, any type of high school reunion. It has already been 10 years. But I'm just like, why would I, go to that? Nobody's going to remember who I am. Like, I just became really quiet and I hated moving. I hated trying to make new friends. And those of you who like are in military or grew up in a military family, I'm sure you can understand, but like people are usually way, way nicer. Yeah, people in military though, like once you move to a new place, everyone knows what it's like to be the new kid. They're just way more understanding of that and really try to like talk to you and make sure you have friends and they want to be your friend. Whereas like once you move to another place and you go to a public school, nobody is very nice at all. Like everyone has their cliques. They grew up together. I still have people here, like a lot of, like I've obviously made friends here and everything, but not a lot, especially because most of them seem to all have friends that they grew up with and newcomers. I'm definitely not that person anymore. I don't get that shy and I'm open to talking to people, especially because of my job. It just kind of pushed me into that area. And I also had to make sure, like, this is something I've talked to my sisters about, where I'm just like, you know, it's not an excuse when you're older to be quiet anymore. It comes off very rude, very stuck up. Like, you have to make an effort to like talk to people, and most people want to talk to you. Like, it's just, you have to kind of be that first person, which kind of sucks, but it's true. But yeah, that's kind of how I was in high school. I played a lot of sports, which that helped a lot, but for the most part, I was a pretty quiet kid. But yeah, that is kind of what I don't know, I just feel like I haven't really talked to you guys about that whole situation. But yeah, things are really different here for sure. It's definitely not the same type of culture. I get very, like, you know, Nick calls it really stuck up. I'm not the worst. My sister's definitely the worst. She watches this, she's gonna kill me. But like, you know, you move out here and people just assume that like they compare everything to like Godfather. That's why I refuse to like watch that movie. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Or everybody will be like, I'm Italian too. And I'm just like, oh, cool. And then really I realize like they've never actually been to Italy, and it's never like, it's more so like their great grandparents kind of thing. Which is fine. You know, I mean, Nick has kind of put me in my place with that stuff where he's like, people here just don't have the same type of like culture, and that's why they do the Me Too type, you know, the Me Too type things, like the, you know, the little DNA testing, which I refuse to do because I'm just like, what if I want to murder somebody one day? They will not find me. Like, absolutely not. That is not how I'm gonna get caught. Not that I'm planning on murdering somebody, but you know, keep options open. I feel like that's a good idea. You never know. But yeah, I think it comes more out of a place of I really miss home and I want to relate to like people, and it's not the same. You know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of had a unique childhood for sure, moving back and forth, and I feel like I really miss, my dad was learning English when he raised us, so most of the time he speaks English, and then, you know, obviously now we all have, you know, we're married, we have partners, we, you know, we can't really, I'm like, Dad, you have to speak English. Like, they don't understand what you're saying. But I am losing it, like, for sure. Like, I feel like we visited, that summer, that's the last one, but the year before. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I've forgotten, like, everything. Like, I don't remember anything. And once I was there for a few days, I was fine. But definitely initially, I was just so uncomfortable being there. Like, I was just like, crap, like, I really got to work on this. Like, losing a language, and none of my Italian family speak English at all. One of them can say, like, she went to high school. The high school system's so different there, and that's why my parents didn't want me to go. Let's actually wipe away this powder. Because you choose what your career is going to be in high school, and that's why my mom was just like, I don't want you to have to do that. And so, like, my cousin that's in the hospitality school, like, she knows how to say, like, let me heat up your, they always, like, learn English in a different accent. Let me heat up your food in the microwave. It will be ready in 2 minutes. And that's how she talks, and it's so funny. But I just feel a lot closer to them, and I miss them so much. Whereas here, like, there we were the Americans because my mom was American, and here we are the Italians. So I don't know. It's a whole different, like, family dynamic for sure. All right, I just used Marc Jacobs Deja Bleu in my waterline. We are going to go in with Not a Fact from the Shane Dawson palette and go nice and close to the lash line. But yeah, I don't know why I thought to do this for this video. I'm just feeling homesick, especially like with the holidays coming up. Like, I miss going to, like, they have a whole thing called Christmas Alley where you go and, like, they have little presepes there. I don't know what they're called here. It's like nativity scene, like little statues, but they have a whole, like, alley with just Christmas stuff like that, and it's the coolest thing ever. And then they all sell, like, roasted chestnuts by, like, the street, and they're nice and warm. I miss the food so much. So much. And I never gained weight there. I gained weight here. Like, I think just because there you walk everywhere. You walk and you take the bus, and, like, here, like, I never learned how to drive there. I don't know how my sister did that last time we visited, because I was like, no way. People drive like crazy. And I am not a good driver, which, considering I work for Amazon part-time, that's a little scary to admit, but I know it's true. I've never been a good driver. But yeah, I'm just feeling really nostalgic. Like, I'm just like, oh, I miss Christmas when like the whole family would come over and my nonna would cook, and just, oh, I miss gnocchi and lasagna. And like, my dad's a really good cook. Like, even here, he will not go to an Italian restaurant. He will not go. And if you ask him like what the best place to eat is, he's like, my house. I really want to do a video with my dad soon. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. And like, I always ask if you guys would be interested, and then I just do it anyway because it makes me happy. But yeah, I'm smoking this out with the haze shade. I need a smaller brush. But yeah, are you guys where you grew up, or like did you stay in the same area? Did you guys move? Like, okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the face. I'll put on liner and lashes in a minute. I'm meeting my mom for coffee, so it's a little much, but whatever. I bought these Jouer Soft Focus powders. I've been interested in these for a while, and I can't get the box open. But I bought one in a deep shade, and then I bought one in a lighter one. I think it's Babs Beauty that always talks about the deeper shade as being a good bronzer. So I figured we would try that out. And then I bought the shade Light, which I figured it'd be light medium, but a lot of people said they ran a little bit dark. So we shall see. But so far, I think the only powder I have that's similar to this is the, like, this is what they look like. It looks so pretty. I don't want to ruin the imprint. The Charlotte Tilbury one, which I do love, but it's expensive. And I'm like, if I can find one that I like a little bit more than that, definitely I can already tell, like, these have a little bit, like, actual coverage on them. Whereas the Charlotte Tilbury one, I feel like really is just a setting powder. Like I said, I couldn't help it. I already put some highlight on. I'll put on a little bit more in a little bit. But, oh my gosh, I got this comment about my eyebrows where someone's just like, I love your videos, but could you fix them? And I'm just like, no. I'm so over comments like that. Like, they used to really, I still have comments that get to me, but like, stuff about my eyebrows now, I'm just like, they are what they are. They're on my face. Some days are going to be better than others. And I just, yeah, nope, I can't fix them. She's like, well, you could do something a little bit better. And I'm like, sure I could, but they also are on my face. So just leave them alone. All right, let's dip into this Deek. Let's dip into this dark powder and see if it works as a bronzer. I'm a little bit nervous because Babs Beauty, like, I'm definitely a little bit darker than she is. So we'll see how buildable this is and if I like it as a bronzer. I was like, oh, I did good. I didn't buy a bronzer at this Sephora haul because you guys know I'm obsessed with like bronzers in general. And then I got this and I was like, okay, yes, I did. Does it still count? Yes, it does. But I want to know what you guys picked up, or like, do you guys just buy things that replenish, or do you guys buy new releases? Like, what do you guys get most excited for? This is actually blending so smoothly. Ooh, that's nice. I'm excited about this. It's working out better than I thought. I was still a little bit like, I don't know about it. But no, it's really nice and smooth, and I really like the shade dark for a bronzer for sure. All right, so we're gonna dip into She's Sincere from Patrick Ta. And like I said, it is such a light blush. Like, I've dipped in here quite a few times. So I know it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but so far I'm still enjoying it. Like, I still like it. All right, and then for lips, I got this shade Uncensored from Artist Couture. I have one of his other like lip glosses. These are a little bit different. They're actual, like, the other ones are super glittery. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one. I really like the formula and everything. I just didn't like the applicator as much on the gloss. I still use it and it's gorgeous. The applicator is just very flimsy. So I keep like waiting for the day I'm gonna open it and it's just going to like detach. But let's go ahead and try. So obviously I got the nude, so we shall see. Kind of smells like coconuts. I know, I'm not gonna complain about the weather today. I'm not gonna do it because I know a lot of you guys live in freezing cold weather and I'm over here complaining that it's 65 degrees. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. If you wanna come stay with me, you will go through like 3 different wardrobe changes a day. Like, in the morning here, it's cold. At night, it's cold. Middle of the day, 90 degrees. Like, you have no idea how to dress. You just layers and you just take them off all day long. It's comfortable formula. It's a lot like his other ones. It just doesn't have as much glitter. You know what I mean? Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I really like the way that this actually turned out. I still really like the Huda palette, but I also like, I feel like it's going to be more of like a companion palette. Like, you can definitely get looks with it, but I like pulling in deeper shades to really give my eyes some type of dimension. That's just me personally, but yeah, let me know what you guys picked up at the sale. I'm going to be doing my haul soon, so I don't know if this is going to be up before or after. We shall see. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye guys.